If you're a man over 30, this video could change the way you think about food, energy, and your health. Because the truth is, once you hit your 30s, your body starts to shift in ways you might not even notice right away. Your metabolism slows down, muscle mass naturally begins to decline, hormones like testosterone can start to dip, and recovery from exercise, or even just a long day, doesn't feel quite as smooth as it used to. But here's the good news. Nutrition is one of the most powerful tools you have to stay strong, energized, and healthy well into your 40s, 50s, and beyond. That's why I put this guide together for you. Before we dive in, let me ask you a question. Have you noticed any changes in your body since turning 30? Maybe with your energy, your weight, or even your digestion? I'd love for you to share your experience in the comments below, because chances are you're not alone, and your story could help another guy who's watching this feel less isolated on his journey. Now, I want to make something very clear. Eating well in your 30s doesn't mean living on chicken, broccoli, and protein shakes. It's not about some extreme diet or chasing trends. It's about fueling your body the right way so you can perform at your best, prevent common health problems, and feel confident in your own skin. I'm going to walk you through the foundations: macronutrients, micronutrients, hydration, meal timing, and lifestyle strategies. And I'll explain how they all come together to support your body at this stage of life. My goal is to give you practical, science-backed advice that you can actually use starting today. Let's start with the big picture. By your 30s, most men aren't burning calories the way they used to in their 20s. Your metabolism slows by about 1 to 2% per decade after 30, which might not sound like much, but over time it adds up. That's one reason why some men notice they can't eat the same portions they used to without gaining weight. But metabolism isn't the enemy here. It's simply a signal that your body needs a different approach: more nutrient-dense foods, smarter portion sizes, and a balance between energy in and energy out. So, let's talk about protein first. Protein is your best friend as you move through your 30s, and honestly, for the rest of your life. Why? Because protein helps maintain and build lean muscle, and muscle is what keeps your metabolism active and your body strong. Without enough protein, you risk losing muscle mass faster, especially if you're not exercising regularly. I recommend aiming for around 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight per day. For example, if you weigh 80 kilograms, that's about 176 pounds, you're looking at 96 to 128 grams of protein daily. Spread it across your meals because your body can only use so much at once. Think eggs for breakfast, chicken or fish for lunch, beans or lentils for dinner, and maybe a Greek yogurt or protein shake as a snack. Now, let's move on to carbohydrates. Carbs get a bad reputation, but they're actually essential, especially if you want to keep your energy up, support your workouts, and stay focused during the day. The key is choosing the right carbs. I'm talking about whole grains, oats, quinoa, brown rice, sweet potatoes, fruits, and plenty of vegetables. These foods give you fiber, vitamins, minerals, and steady energy without the crash that comes from processed foods. One thing to remember is that your body doesn't need the same carb load it did in your early 20s, especially if you're less active now. So, think of carbs as fuel. The more active you are, the more you can afford to eat. The more sedentary, the more you should keep them moderate. And then there's fat, the nutrient that too many men still fear. Healthy fats are vital for hormone production, especially testosterone, which is so important for men's health after 30. Testosterone helps with muscle maintenance, energy levels, mood, and even motivation. To support it, include healthy fats like avocados, olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish such as salmon or sardines. Avoid loading up on trans fats and heavily processed oils. That's the kind of fat that can damage your heart and your long-term health. A good balance of fats not only keeps your hormones in check, but also supports brain function and reduces inflammation. Of course, macronutrients are only one piece of the puzzle. Micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, play an equally important role. For men over 30, there are a few nutrients I really want you to pay attention to. First, magnesium. This mineral helps with muscle recovery, sleep quality, and energy production, and many men don't get enough of it. You'll find it in foods like spinach, almonds, pumpkin seeds, and dark chocolate. Then there's vitamin D, which is crucial for bone health, testosterone support, and immune function. If you spend a lot of time indoors or live in a place with limited sun exposure, you might need to supplement, but always check with your doctor before you do. Another key nutrient is zinc, which also supports testosterone and overall immune health. Foods like oysters, beef, and chickpeas are great sources. And don't forget B vitamins, which keep your energy levels stable and your metabolism working efficiently. Hydration is another area I don't want you to overlook. By the time you feel thirsty, you're already slightly dehydrated, and dehydration can affect everything from your energy and concentration to your workouts and recovery. Aim for about 2.5 to 3 liters of water per day, depending on your size, activity level, and climate. And yes, coffee and tea can count toward your fluid intake, but water should be the foundation. If you're active and sweating a lot, consider adding electrolytes, but skip the sugary sports drinks unless you're doing intense endurance exercise. Meal timing is something else worth considering. You don't need to obsess over eating every 2 hours, but spacing your meals consistently throughout the day helps with energy and prevents overeating. For many men, 3 balanced meals with 1 or 2 healthy snacks works well. Some people find intermittent fasting helpful, like a 16-to-8 schedule, but it's not for everyone. The key is choosing a pattern you can sustain long-term without feeling deprived or drained. Now let's connect all this to lifestyle, because nutrition never works in isolation. Exercise, sleep, and stress management all interact with what you eat. For example, strength training is one of the best ways to preserve muscle and support your metabolism, but without enough protein and calories, you won't see the results you want. Sleep is just as critical. Even one night of poor sleep can throw off hunger hormones, making you crave junk food the next day. And chronic stress can raise cortisol levels, which interfere with weight management and muscle growth. That's why I encourage you to look at nutrition as one part of a bigger picture of self-care. And let's be real, eating healthy doesn't mean perfection. It's not about never having pizza or beer again. It's about balance and consistency. The 80-20 approach works well. Focus on nutrient-dense, whole foods 80% of the time, and leave 20% for flexibility and enjoyment. That way, you're not constantly battling cravings or feeling like you're on a restrictive plan. So how do you actually put this into practice day to day? Let me give you some examples of what a balanced day of eating might look like for a man over 30. Breakfast could be something like scrambled eggs with spinach, tomatoes, and a slice of whole grain toast paired with some berries on the side. That meal gives you protein, fiber, healthy fats, and antioxidants to kickstart your day. For lunch, you might go with a grilled salmon bowl with quinoa, roasted vegetables, and a drizzle of olive oil. That combination fuels you with omega-3 fats, quality protein, complex carbs, and a wide variety of vitamins and minerals. Dinner could be a lean steak or chicken breast, a baked sweet potato, and steamed broccoli with a sprinkle of almonds. And if you need snacks between meals, go for Greek yogurt with chia seeds, a handful of walnuts, or an apple with peanut butter. The point isn't to copy these exact meals every day, but to see how balance works in practice. Protein at every meal, colorful vegetables, whole food carbs, and healthy fats. When you make this your foundation, you give your body the tools it needs to perform well, not just in the gym, but at work, at home, and in your personal life. Now let's talk about heart health. Cardiovascular disease is still the #1 health risk for men, and the habits you build in your 30s can either protect you or put you at higher risk later on. Nutrition plays a huge role here. A diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats like those found in olive oil and fatty fish helps keep cholesterol in check, reduces blood pressure, and protects your arteries. Limiting processed meats, excess alcohol, and high-sodium foods can make a major difference. And here's something that might surprise you. Fiber is one of the most underrated nutrients for heart health. Men need about 30 to 38 grams per day, but most don't even get half of that. Beans, lentils, oats, chia seeds, and vegetables are great sources, and they help keep your digestion smooth too. Joint support is another area worth mentioning. As you age, it's normal to start noticing more stiffness or minor aches, especially if you're active or carry extra weight. Nutrition can help here as well. Omega-3 fats from fish and flax seeds reduce inflammation, while collagen-rich foods like bone broth, chicken skin, or certain supplements may support joint health. Vitamin C from foods like oranges, bell peppers, and strawberries helps your body produce collagen naturally. Staying at a healthy weight is also one of the most powerful ways to protect your joints, since every extra pound adds pressure to your knees and hips. Let's circle back to metabolism, because I know a lot of guys worry about slowing down in their 30s. It's true that your resting metabolism decreases slightly, but you're not doomed to gain weight. The key is muscle. Every pound of muscle burns more calories at rest than fat does, and nutrition directly supports that. Pair resistance training with adequate protein and calorie intake, and you can actually increase your metabolic efficiency. Add in whole food carbs to fuel your workouts and healthy fats to stabilize your hormones, and you've got a formula for keeping your metabolism working in your favor. I also want to touch on alcohol for a moment, because it's a part of many men's social lives. A beer or a glass of wine now and then is fine for most healthy men, but excessive drinking takes a toll on your liver, hormones, sleep, and waistline. Alcohol is packed with empty calories, it interferes with nutrient absorption, and it disrupts deep sleep cycles that your body needs for recovery. If you drink, be mindful, stick to moderation, alternate with water, and choose quality over quantity. Caffeine is another thing I get asked about often. Coffee can actually have some benefits: improved alertness, focus, and even some protective antioxidants. But too much can increase anxiety, disrupt your sleep, and raise your blood pressure. Try to keep your intake moderate, around 2 to 3 cups per day, and avoid it late in the afternoon if you want good quality sleep. Remember, sleep is one of your strongest allies for hormone balance, muscle recovery, and overall energy. Now let's zoom out and talk about mindset, because nutrition is never just about food. It's about how you approach it. One of the biggest traps men fall into is the all-or-nothing mentality. Maybe you start eating really clean for a few weeks, but then life gets busy, you slip, and suddenly you're back to fast food, telling yourself you'll start again Monday. I want to encourage you to drop that mindset. Progress is built on consistency, not perfection. If you have a less than ideal meal, don't stress. Just make the next choice a good one. Over time, those small decisions add up to big results. And here's something else. Don't ignore your body's signals. Pay attention to how certain foods make you feel. Do you crash after a heavy pasta lunch? Maybe try more protein and veggies instead. Do you feel bloated after dairy? Consider experimenting with alternatives. Nutrition isn't one size fits all, and your body often gives you clues about what works best for you. Let me also encourage you to get regular checkups and blood work. Nutrition can do wonders, but it's important to track your health markers, things like cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, and hormone levels, so you know what's really happening inside your body. If something's off, your diet is one of the first and most effective levers you can pull to get back on track. I want to wrap this up by reminding you that being over 30 is not the beginning of decline. It's actually the perfect time to build habits that will carry you into middle age and beyond with strength, vitality, and confidence. The choices you make with your food every day don't just impact your body now, they shape your health 10, 20, even 30 years from now. You don't need to aim for perfection, you just need to aim for progress, consistency, and self-respect. So here's my challenge to you. This week, choose one small but powerful change to your nutrition. Maybe it's adding an extra serving of vegetables every day. Maybe it's swapping soda for water. Maybe it's eating protein at breakfast instead of skipping it. Whatever it is, commit to it and notice how your body responds. And don't forget, I asked earlier, but I'll ask again, what changes have you noticed in your health since turning 30? Share your experiences in the comments below. You never know who might read your comment and feel encouraged to start their own journey. If this guide has helped you, I'd love for you to subscribe for more content like this. Together, we can make sure that your 30s, 40s, and beyond are strong, energized, and healthy years. Remember, your health is an investment, not an expense. And the best time to start is right now.